Coniston Brewing Company, Old Man Ale.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I've got one from the Coniston Brewing Company. And this is a brewery that I really like. I tried their Bluebird Ale, which was really nice. And on the strength of that, I thought, I have got to get some more of this. And I looked at some of their beers, and this one really appealed to me. It's a ruby ale, and it's a bottle conditioned beer, as all their beers are, and it just looked really interesting. Now, Coniston Brewery are a brewery that have been going since 1995, and they're up near Lake Coniston. Is it Windermere? No, Lake Windermere. That's where it is. And they're up near the Lake District, which is a really, really nice part of the world, right up north in, I think it's Cumbria. And Coniston really does resonate with me, because where I lived in Tottenham, there was a road round the corner from me called Coniston Road, and I remember being told, oh, that was up in the Lake District, and that's how I found out about what's his name? Is it Campbell? Campbell, that's right, yeah. And the land speed record and the sea speed record and the Bluebird, etc. And of course, the Bluebird is where the beer gets its name from. And yeah, I just loved all that, and you know, growing up as a kid, I was really interested in all that. And when I saw, you know, Coniston Brewery doing a beer, that Bluebird bitter, I think it was, and it only had one hop, and that was Challenger hops. And I really wanted to see what Challenger hops tasted like on their own, and of course, that was the perfect beer to do it. So I got some. I absolutely loved it. And I've got a few of theirs in there. I've also got some of the Cotley stuff, which, you know, I'll be drinking out of their glass. Now, I don't know if you know, but I'm a massive fan of the Cotley Brewery, and I got some more beers from them as well. So that'll be upcoming very soon. So keep an eye out for that when I do that. But let's get back to this stuff. This lot, as I say, they're up near the Lake District. They've been going since 1995. They're quite small though. But what I do like about them, they brew traditional British beers. They do ruby ale, pale ales, etc. They even do a lager, they do a pilsner as well. But they're really good at what they do. They have won so many awards. Now, you know my opinion on awards.
Award! Award!
Yes,
award!
Father.
Award!
Yes,
Award!
Father.
Award!
Yes,
Award!
Father.
Award!
Yes,
Award!
Father.
There you are. Right.
But if you look up, you go to their brewery website and you see how many awards they've won from reputable sources as well. These are like CAMRA awards. Now, I do take them seriously because, you know, CAMRA, you know, you can fucking take the piss out of them all you want, saying, oh yeah, it's the Sandals and Beard. The Sandals and Beard Brigade. I'll just say it now, I do not wear fucking sandals. But, you know, people take the piss out, and they have got that sort of reputation. But CAMRA do know their beer, and they only award beers that they think are the best, which, you know, that's why I give them respect. And they categorise their beers, so, you know, you're not just putting lagers up against ales and, you know, being judged by someone whose preference is ales. It's all categorised, which I think is the way you should do it. So that is why I've got respect for CAMRA, and I've got respect for the old man stuff. Now, just a quick word about CAMRA. I did a little piece on Brewdog in the Active Punks, and as I was doing the research, I came to the conclusion that the Active Punks was a very expensive membership scheme. And it just come into my head, well, you could say the same about CAMRA. You know, you pay your £25, you know, for CAMRA membership per year. And, you know, what are the benefits? You get a magazine monthly, and you get, I think, is it a 10% discount on beers or real ales? Certainly Wetherspoons do it, but there's quite a few pubs that do They always ask. There's certainly a few pubs around Kent. They always ask you who you can remember, and I should fucking join it. I have joined in the past, and I've let it lapse, but I should rejoin it now. I'm drinking sort of more real ale than I was a few years ago. But as I say, getting back to my point, it could be argued that Camera were, basically offering the same thing, but it's not, in my opinion. And maybe I'll do a follow up to the Equity for Punks. I'll do a part 2 video, and I'll cover that. But in my opinion, that's not the case. But anyway, I'm going right off topic here. So let's just get this beer investigated and see what's going on. Old Man Ale, award-winning English ale. And do you know what? I'm just touching this label here. I don't know what sort of label it is, but it's like a textured label. It's very sturdy as well. Now it's not your average sort of paper label. It's let me just it's like a textured label. I really like that. That's cool. That is. I'm just peeling it off now. That is a hefty label, and I don't know whose they've got to do that, but yeah, but it's a fucking label. What a twat. But it's very tactile. It's non-slip as well, so it's a ruby ale, and it's 4.8%, and it's 500ml bottle. Now, what I will say about this stuff is so good. It's exported to the USA, it's exported to Sweden, and it's exported to Hong Kong. So there are 3 countries that it's quite hard to, sort of break into for a brewery of this magnitude. Now, anyone, I'm not saying anyone can do it, but the bigger breweries, of course, they export stuff. They even have people brewing the stuff, like in franchises or under license or whatever. But to do that, and from a small brewery, and bear in mind, this brewery, they pump out, I think it's 1,600 gallons a week, which sounds quite a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, that is not much compared to some breweries. But they've managed to do that right and won a lot of awards for doing it. I'll just give you the description on the side. This is what drew me into it, right? It says Coniston Old Man is a rich classic ale, ruby in colour, with a subtle yet strong fruit aroma, full-bodied and balanced with a hint of finest Challenger hops. Old Man Ale is named after the Lakeland Mountains at the foot of which sits Coniston Brewery. Yeah, and it's bottle conditioned as it says, and that is in Coniston. Blah blah blah. The hops they've got in here, yep, they've got Challenger, but they've also got one called Mount Hood. Now, Mount Hood again are a British hop, and they are quite resinous and piney type hops. The Challenger hops are quite pungent, quite potent hops, but they're renowned for their spicy character, and they're perfect for bitters. And when you get that, that bitter finish, that's the spiciness coming through from the hops. And there's a lot of good British bitters that use Challenger hops in them, and it really does make a good finish on a bitter, in my opinion. So that's why. And of course, that the Coniston Bluebird, that really did have a nice finish on it. If you want to look at that reviews on the channel as well. The malts that are in here are they've got roasted malts. That's going to give it the colour. They've got crystal malts in here, give it a nice texture, good head retention, etc. A bit of a sweetness to it as well. And they've got pale malt, of course, which is the base malt. So let's stop guessing and let's get this beer open and see what's going on. I'm really looking forward to this. I've got a feeling this is going to be a good one. Right, cap is just a plain brass colour, nothing to see. So I'm not going to give the autofocus a hard time and threaten it with landfill. Let's get it in the glass. There we go. Nice copper, dark copper, amber, dark amber colour, one finger white head. What are we getting on the nose here? Oh, that smells really nice. You can really get them hops, them floral aromaed hops, which I'm assuming are the Mount Hood hops. They're coming through there. There's some spicy notes on there as well, and I'm assuming that is the Challenger. Really peppery, if you can imagine that. Almost like a Belgian beer. You know that bitter, sort of spicy aroma you get from certain Belgian beers? Really does smell like that. Almost. And there's fruit on there as well, like marmalade. I'm definitely getting that. That is quite strong, that marmalade aroma, which is good. Let's get the rest of it into ye olde glass. Now, this is bottle conditioned. There's bound to be some stuff at the bottom. Usually they say not to pour that in. I always do it because I want to get the yeast character on it as well. I'm probably ruining a good beer when I do that, but I don't care. I do it with all my beers. And here it goes. Slim one fingerhead, that's going to rapidly dissipate. A lot of carbonation in there. Or from what I can gather from the head. Looks really nice. Let's get it down the hatch before the head dissipates. Bottoms up. Oh, that is really good. That is a really nice one. Oh, really getting them floral notes and fruity notes coming through on there. Really is fruity. That is. Oh, and there comes the spicy black pepper finish on this that gives it its bitterness. I have to say one thing about this: the mouthfeel is absolutely superb. There is a real Belgian flavour about this, and I'm not sure if it's a mixture of them. Oh look, and there's a little touch of toffee malt coming through. It's mostly caramel on the mouthfeel, but on the finish there's a very slight touch of toffee malt. This is really complex. I've really got to work out what is going on here. I was just getting bombarded with flavour. Yeah, as I was saying, it does taste really Belgian, and I don't know whether that's a mix of the yeast that they've put in here, but there's also that marmalade, that orange marmalade zest. It really does confuse me, not because I'm getting that marmalade zest, but I'm getting fruit, I'm getting spice as well. On the finish there's caramel malt, but there's also a touch of toffee right in the end. Now I'm not sure whether that's the caramel mixing with the spice to make it sort of richer, but either way this is really complex. There's big earth on that all the way through as well, and that earthy note is there. It's there from start to finish, and you're sort of fighting to get the other flavours through this big wall of sort of earthy, hoppy goodness, but they do come through. This is a really complex beer. This is one where you sort of need to take a few mouthfuls just to fully appreciate it. So you get in the fruit, like dark fruit on that. Wow. But then there's that orange zest, marmalade type flavour. Then there's pepper. And I don't know, it's like a black pepper on the finish. But, you know, I don't know, this is definitely something to do with the yeast. But there's a spiciness to this yeast as well. which is putting me in mind of a Belgian wit beer. You know, that sort of, it's not the clove, it's the herbal sort of coriander type flavour. I'm getting that as well. It's really nice though. They've got it down as a ruby ale, but this is more of a bitter, in my opinion. Ruby ales are normally associated with being sweet. This isn't sweet. This has got. This is more spicy than anything else. It's really good though. I really do like this, and it's so complex. You know, this really is one for savouring, and I wouldn't be eating anything with this because there's just too much flavour. You're just going to kill any flavour that you get if you spoil it with food. Look, and again, even on the aroma now, the spiciness is coming through on that. Really is nice. Oh, it's so good. It really is a good beer. And the more I drink it, the more from what I can gather, it's a mixture of the hops and the yeast. They're dominant in this. Yet there is caramel malt and a touch of toffee malt. But again, it's just being overpowered by the earth all the way through. And then that spicy finish. It's got that Belgian touch to it. That's what I'm getting anyway. Other people may get something else, but if you drink a wit beer, well, you know the taste of wit beer quite well, and you drink this, you'll get the subtle flavours that you get in, from a wit beer. That comes through subtly in this, and it's really nice. Really complex though. Lovely. That was absolutely gorgeous. And that is another winner from the Coniston Brewing Company. So what's the verdict on Old Man Ale? Well, considering I am a fucking old man, I really like this. It's got a lot going for it. It's very complex. I love the fact that it's got a touch of the Belgian spice going on in it. That really does make me smile. And the caramel and toffee malt on there are there, but they're just overshadowed by this hop character and the yeast character that's on this. And it just tastes great. I really like it. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because, yet again, that is another winner from the Coniston Brewery. I definitely recommend this, and I can see why it's won the awards that it has won. It's just put the emphasis on something else in the bitter, but still retaining that bitter character, if you know what I mean. They've used the hops really well in this. There's only two. There's the Challenger and Mount Hood hops, and they've got the balance on that perfectly to get them hop flavours through. And the yeast on top of that as well. Yeah, absolutely love it. Really, really good beer. 10 out of 10, recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.